this stuff shouldn't work. If you ask the science, and if you ask the professionals and the mainstream, this should not work. Yeah, and there are a lot of things that should not work, that are, but they actually work.
Lino, how did you
Yeah.
find carnivore?
Um, I think, like a lot of people, I started to do a ketogenic diet, and then how the algorithms go, you stumble deeper into the rabbit hole, and then you are prone to find the carnivore diet, and it's also quite together, keto and carnivore. So when you start doing a ketogenic diet, then it's quite normal to go more and more carnivore. For me, uh, I'm not clean carnivore, but I go more and more into it at the moment because I'm experimenting, because I know more now about my issues and my body, and I want to see. I have a lot of very good and very um, good experiences with the ketogenic diet, and that's why I go more and more into carnivore, to see even more betterment, improvement. Yeah.
Right. So what were the reasons or the health issues that you had that made you go towards a ketogenic diet and then
So I
towards
I
carnivore?
wrote down a list because there are quite a lot. So there is a lot of minor things that seem minor, but everything that is on a day-to-day basis, uh, making your life harder, or inhibiting you to have a carefree life, uh, even if it's minor things, they're hard on you. Yeah, so uh, I had a lot of dandruff and itchy scalp. I had a lot of itchy skin, uh, flaky skin in the ears and on the head. Um, and I had, of course, often I had diarrhea, especially when I ate sugary drinks like the high fructose corn syrup stuff. Yeah, but it took me a long time to figure that out, because yeah, nobody knows. Yeah, it's like when you talk about um, diet, people still, and doctors, and not only doctors, but people still act like you're talking about the Yeti or about Bigfoot. Yeah. So yeah, diarrhea, belly cramps, so vertigo. I had for a long time. I had vertigo. So like once or twice a day, I got so dizzy that I had to hold myself to some fixed point, like furniture or something, and then it went away. Yeah, but you ignore stuff like that. Yeah, because like it's just short time and then it's gone. But I knew this is not right to have stuff like that. And heartburn, like yeah, for that I have to say, actually, I never was overweight. I was always in good shape. Yeah, never had any allergies, diabetes, whatever. Yeah, so I'm someone you would call a super healthy person, actually. Yeah, but there were all these minor things, minor things. Yeah, like they're not so minor. Yeah, but normally you can say, yeah, you're diabetic, or you have allergies, or you're fat, and this is why you have problems. But for me, I was doing sports. I was had a quite good standard diet. So we always cooked food. We don't do a lot of convenience stuff. Um, yeah. Okay. And what I'm into now a lot is the mental part of a ketogenic or a carnivore diet, because I figured out, also with a friend, that has depression, that the ketogenic diet and no sugar diet and also more carnivore diet has a big influence on my mood, on anger, how I manage stress, depression. I'm not depressed in a clinical way, but also people who are not depressed can be depressed on a day-to-day basis sometimes. Yeah. Um, Nightmares. I had uh, reoccurring nightmares that are gone when I don't eat sugar. Anxiety. Yeah. Sometimes I woke up like someone who is drowning, getting out of water. Like getting. I woke up like like grasping for air and had my heart was pumping like crazy, and often with nightmares and often together with heartburn. But when I don't consume carbs, um, that's gone. All of those things are gone. And when I have a fallback, yeah, when I have a cheat day or week or whatever, then this stuff comes back after like 3 days to a week. Stuff like gradually, step by step, the things come back. And this is why I always start again whenever I'm like, oh, I want to eat normal food, I want to eat pastries and pasta and whatever. Yeah, then I do it, and then there comes the regret because the symptoms start again, and then I think like it's not worth it. Why do I do that to me? It's so nice to not have an itchy scalp, to not have this red spots that are itchy, or to have nightmares, or to have diarrhea. It's nice to not have diarrhea. And yeah, and this is why I start again and again. I'm on a carnivore diet, mostly carnivore diet, um, for over a month now. Again, the first time I did keto was 8 years ago. Yeah, but I did a lot of those, uh, keto treats where you use um, coconut oil and butter, and you make some sweet stuff with it, and uh, a lot of coconut and a lot of um, this, where you try to mimic normal food with keto. And I've gone more and more away from that. Not totally, yeah. I still occasionally eat sour cream. It's like yogurt with 20% fat, with a scoop of protein powder and some fruit. This is what I eat occasionally as a sweet treat. It's like ice cream, but has like, I don't know, 5 to 10 carbs per serving. Yeah, but I try to go more and more into eating more and more only animal products. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I that's how I that's how I feel with it. I just feel better, and I want to.
Mm.
That's the second part. What I said, I want to experiment more with my mental state. Yeah, because the the physical stuff is obvious. Yeah, do I have diarrhea or do I don't? Do I have cramps or do I don't? Do I have dandruff or do I not? But with the mental stuff, you have to go deeper into yourself to see, oh, wait, for a month now or for a week now, I didn't have any nightmares, or I didn't have any anxiety, or, yeah. So, yeah.
Nice. So, how are you eating day to day?
Today, I can say how it was today. Today, I started my day with a bowl of beef soup. because here we get these glasses, these pre-made glasses, and it's just 99% beef, water, and salt. It's super clean actually, and you can buy it at the shop. And then I mix it with a bit of water, hot water, and salt, and uh, maybe a bit of spice to make it hot. And then yeah, that's that. That's a breakfast. And then uh, I eat some eggs with cheese, and I also love those cracklings, those pork cracklings. You can buy them here at the shop. They're yeah, uh, and some like some spare ribs. I make them in the oven or stuff like that. So it's quite expensive to only eat beef. And but where I'm at, chicken is super cheap, and so you get the of course, when you do carnivore, you know that you don't go for chicken breast, yeah, because it's quite useless. So I take the thighs, the boneless thighs, and uh, just stir fry them or something, and then yeah, just eat them. Yeah, and most of the time I cook something because my family is eating normal. Now I talked my wife into trying keto and carnivore to also get some betterments with yeast infections and stuff like that, and also with losing weight, which I never had to. In my family, we don't get fat. We're lucky like that. I mean, it's also the European, Middle European diet that is quite, we still cook a lot and don't go for fast food and stuff. So often I make the main dish, the meat stuff, and then the kids get a side dish like rice or some fried potatoes or whatever, because they do what they do. Yeah, I'm not a vegan that I have to make my pets eat salad or something like that. Yeah.
So, whereabouts are you in the world?
Uh, I'm originally I'm from Austria, but at the moment we live in Bulgaria. So we left 2 years ago. We left Austria because of some certain things happening with some kind of disease. I don't know if you heard of it, but I don't want it to make this podcast go into that direction. Yeah, but it was quite crazy. We were living in a big cities, and we didn't want to take a medicine that was mandatory. So we come from a country where this medicine was mandatory. It was one of a few countries, and so we left. And now we live in Bulgaria, but we will actually go back to Austria in half a year, because the kids cannot cope with the learning the another language. So yeah, but I speak a bit of Bulgarian, so I speak English, German, and Bulgarian. Yeah.
Wow. And so how is your eating style go down in Bulgaria? Do
So,
people
for,
think it's strange?
so yeah, they don't they don't care so much. Yeah, like it's the Balkans. They love to do barbecue. Everyone here has, not everyone, but we live in a village. Most of the people have some kind of animals. I learned to love lamb meat here. I didn't like it so much. I don't like the pungent taste of sheep's meat, but if it's cooked right, the grilled lamb or stewed lamb can be quite pleasant, almost like beef. And like almost, yeah, like the people who have chicken. People here have chickens, yeah, and they run around in the garden and get the leftovers and whatever. And we get we get like for I will translate into dollars, for 15 cents. We get free ranged organic eggs from the neighbors, and the yolks are super orange. And so we eat a lot so around 10 eggs a day as a family, at least. So we eat a lot of eggs because they're the cheapest whole animal food you can eat. Yeah. Uh, with butter, it's quite a problem here. Butter is super expensive, and we love butter. I use a lot of butter. Just yeah, and the kids and everyone we so like 250 grams we eat in a week minimum. Yeah. Olive oil. I ordered olive oil. I know it's not carnivore, but I have a farmer in Greece, so I order it directly in big containers, and also olives. I eat a lot. This is my guilty pleasure. I love olives and olive oil. I cook a lot. So this is we totally changed our approach to food. Yeah. So instead of investing into doctor's visit, we invest into more quality food and don't always turn around every coin like are we supposed to spend this much on this piece of meat and this much on this oil, and so and we yeah this my wife and me, we agree that the maybe it never was easy, but this is what we say, that the easy times are over. Now you have to think about what you do, how to educate your kids, what you eat, uh, and what media you put into your head. Stuff, this is like you cannot just consume all the time without thinking about it. Autopilot is over. Now you have to be invested into your health. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
reading for years I'm reading all, and this is I still cannot comprehend that there are people who don't read the labels, or not the labels, the ingredient list on things they eat. Yeah, this is a normal thing to me, to take the package, turn it around, and start reading what is in there. Yeah, and a lot of people still don't do that. Yeah.
Well, I think part of the problem is once you start reading it, it gets very scary.
Yeah, but also you get really appreciative of stuff like this beef soup. What I said before, that when you have three ingredients, it's already a miracle thing. Yeah. What? There is only meat, water, and salt in this? What's going on here? What is this madness? Yeah. But they do super shitty things here also. I don't know. You're in the U.S. or
I'm in Japan.
ah, but I learned, I got a sneak preview into US American food practices maybe here in Bulgaria, because they drink a lot of sweetener stuff. Yeah, don't get me wrong, if you don't want to eat carbs, I also sometimes go for a guilty pleasure. Once a month I drink a zero carb Red Bull or something like that. But here there is more sweetener, color, artificial stuff in the shelves than I have ever seen before, and they even put plant fiber in the minced meat. So if you read it, there is bamboo fiber in the minced meat. So you actually have to look up what's in that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, to make it
wow.
more. I don't know why, to make it more sticky when they make the meatballs or whatever. Yeah, it's always some shitty reason like that.
I see. Wow. Um, so you mentioned that you talked your wife into trying to go keto. Was it hard to convince her?
No, it was not hard to convince her, but it was hard to make her actually do it, because we're from Austria, and I know everyone in the world says they have the best food, but we actually do. We have the best from the west and the east. So there, this is where Balkan meets French cuisine. We have all the pastries, all the cakes, all the schnitzel and all the dumplings and everything. And a lot of societies are built around food and what comes going together: eating ice cream, eating cake, uh, celebrating food and stuff. And uh, yeah, and it's quite hard to uh, miss out on that. Um, when I have to say, when I was young, I had a bit of a drug problem with smoking weed, and I stopped doing that. And with that, I changed my whole friend group. So I'm quite good at saying no to stuff. I'm quite good at saying I'm not a person who eats cake. I'm not a person who smokes a joint. I'm not a person who drinks a glass of beer. So I wasn't drinking. So with 18, I stopped drinking alcohol and doing drugs. And this was already quite mysterious to people to say, "Oh, you don't drink alcohol." This is the same. We have a drinking culture, beer and wine and schnapps, and so I was used to be an outsider and being different. I have no problem anymore. Long time ago, I stopped having a problem with being different. But for a lot of people, the social pressure is coming together with the problem to change your ways. So you have to change yourself, you have to be disciplined, but it's not discipline. I told my wife, with discipline you cannot do it, because discipline is not strong enough. You have to tell yourself, I'm not a person who does this and that. Yeah, you have to cut it, like really cut it out and say this is not what I do, because and then you have to put it away more and more, because you cannot always have your shelf full of candy and not take it. Yeah, you have to be smarter than smart, not disciplined, because discipline is only going so far.
Yeah. And I find the problem with discipline is you're fighting your hormones all the time. And it's very hard to win the war against your hormones. When your hormones are demanding particular things, it's very hard to say no. So you have to, at the start, you've got to kind of get things out of the way, right?
Yes, and then it gets a habit and gets more and more easy, like with when you stop smoking. When I was 18 and 17, I was smoking, and with 18 I stopped smoking. And for the first years, it's quite hard. Every time you're at the bus stop, every time you wait with some people, so on and on and on. And then you still, I for years, I in my dreams I was still a smoker. I was smoking in my dreams. This is how strong it is in your in your deep psyche. And yeah, it's the same with food. And but also you have to forgive yourself. I have a friend with who I did keto for some time, and he was running marathons and a lot of long distance running, and he had this. He was going for a 5 mile run every day, and when he did not hold his streak, he was so disappointed with himself that he punished himself and said, I cannot do it, it's not worth it, blah, 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 blah. But this is also an excuse to not go on. Yeah, okay, you messed up, you're a human, okay, make a point, and then go on and try again. This is how I do. Sometimes um, I have I have the urges and something happens and I eat something I shouldn't eat, but I learned to not take this as an excuse to stop my betterment. I forgive myself. I say this happened, okay, and now I move on and start again. And yeah, so this is the people are like, oh, I cannot do it anyways. I cannot make it anyways. Yeah. So and with a lot of people who do a diet, like you whatever diet, they want to lose weight, they want to go to the gym, and then they miss out one time, and they say, see, I told you, I'm too weak. I cannot do it. I don't have the discipline. No, you just failed once. Now forgive yourself and go on. So yeah, that's how I see it.
Hmm. So for you, can you see yourself eating this way forever?
Yes, yes, with some failings, yeah, because at least long enough to see what it does, what it changes with me. And now it's like when I fail, when I say, okay, I cannot do it for now. Now it's Christmas or whatever shitty occasion where you eat a lot of bakery stuff. I see very fast what it does with me to eat normally, what people consider normally. Yeah, what we tell us now at the moment that is normal. So it changed uh, all the stuff I told you. It changed quite fast. At the moment, I have itchy ears because I was eating bad stuff like 2 days ago, and I was a bit too lax, too loose. Yeah, like, oh, this is no problem. This is just a little bit. Yeah. So no, it was more than a little bit, and I feel it. And now I have to be more strict again. Yeah, I can see that because I see what it's doing with me, and I like it. I like it to be healthy, and to with my. I had a talk with my neighbor. My neighbor is also doing it, kind of, yeah, but never never base your decisions on what other people do, like this, let's go to the gym together. No, no, do it for you, because the other person maybe will not have the patience or not have the discipline, and then you stop because the other person stopped. But what I wanted to say was, we totally agreed that the moment we eat grains and sugar, we start to feel our stomach and digestion. It's feelable. It's there. You always is something fermenting and going on, and you're bloated, and you just feel it. And when you're fasting for a day, and or you and then you start eating easy digestible, the stuff that they told us all our lives is hard to digest, yeah, animal products, then it goes away and you don't feel your digestive system all the time. And I like this feeling, this light feeling where you're not feeling that you're digesting all the time, you're fermenting, you're digesting. I'm not a fermenter. I'm yeah, I'm not a cow apparently. Yeah. um,
No.
Also, I wanted to talk about what happened with my father, because my father died. Uh, I think, yeah, it was 10.5 years ago. So it was a long process. And at this point in my life, I didn't know anything about diet. Yeah, so my father had a plugged colon. Is this how you say it? Yeah, and they had to operate him and cut out a part of his large intestine. Yeah, and they cut out a part of it, because this is what every one of us probably learned, is that the people who call themselves doctors actually don't have any clue about diet and what's going on, why you get sick. Yeah, so I have to reach out. I had this diarrhea and I had this itchy skull. So I was diagnosed with histamine intolerance. Yeah, but the itchy scalp and the stuff, this was a symptom, but also the histamine intolerance was just a symptom. It was a symptom of bacterial disbalance in my colon, actually. But I had to learn that from myself. Yeah, because they give you antihistaminicum, and that's it. Yeah, they fight the symptoms. And the same with my father. They actually told him, don't eat meat, eat a lot of grains. This is the diet that they told him to use. And with what I know now, is if he maybe would have done a carnivore, or if the if the options are not eating cake or dying, maybe you could try not eating cake and bread and pasta. Yeah, so they gave him this soy based whatever drink stuff to prop him up, because he was really skinny, because he couldn't digest because his colon had given up. Yeah, so he had leaky gut to that point where it really started to disintegrate, where they were holes already in the gut. And yeah, and they just kept cutting things away. Like, this was their solution. Like, yeah, okay, if you need a new hip joint or whatever, maybe they're quite good at that now. But still, when you talk about food, if you when you talk about diet and what it's doing with your body and the bacteria in your gut, they still, like I said, they act like you talk about Bigfoot. Yeah, and and I'm over being sad. I'm not sad anymore, because how could I change it? It was over 10 years ago. I didn't know anything. But of course it hurts yourself if you think, if I just had known anything. Yeah, but they teach you is, don't eat meat, don't eat red meat, don't eat lard, don't eat schmaltz, don't eat butter. It's all bad for you, and it's still in the hands of people, and it will take decades to get it out of the people's heads that actually the worst butter is still better than any margarine you could ever get. Yeah, and so uh, yeah, and this is I wanted to say, my father never was had any allergies. My father was never diabetic. My father was never overweight, and the same with me. And a lot of people cannot have any obvious um, health markers that show that they have problems, but still have problems. And I got laughed at a lot. Yeah, I oh, this is the new thing you do. This is the new thing. Yeah, I was feeling bad. I was feeling ill. You couldn't see it on the outside because I looked healthy and sporty, and I was doing a lot of stuff. But I was farting all the time, and I had diarrhea, and I had itchy skull, and I had the stuff I told: vertigo, heartburn, anxiety, whatever. Yeah, cramps, and um, so I this is how I got to keto. Actually, I always tried something new to better myself, and this worked. And the more I did it, and the more disciplined I did it, and the less soy shit I ate, the better I felt, because I was also at the point, like a lot of people, where I said, "Oh, I want to eat less meat. I want to go into vegetarianism, veganism. From now I also eat seitan and soy schnitzel because apparently it's so good for you." And I never felt worse than when I ate a lot of soy. I never had that many grams and that bad of a diarrhea. Like eating soy for a week is like having a viral colon infection. Like, it's really bad. Yeah, and but I wanted to better myself, and I was laughed at a lot. Yeah, I not taken serious. What are you doing now? Why are you doing that? There's still people who tell me you will get liver problems, and you will get heart problems, and you will get, yeah, maybe, but I just don't trust doctors anymore after all. So also my mother is bipolar. Yeah, and I know now that that there might she takes psychopharmacas, five different. Yeah, and with all the, that they don't really test what they do when when you take them together. Like, maybe they test two together, but when it's three or four or five, there is so many. I don't know the English word, Wechselwirkung, when they have doing something, the medicines doing something together. What's the word?
Yeah, so many interactions.
Yeah, yeah, and there the no one ever told her. No one ever told her, maybe you could change your diet. Maybe it's something with the bacteria in your gut. Yeah, maybe it's not. I'm not saying this is the alpha and omega, but at least try it to be healthy. And this is what I do. When you ask me if I see myself doing this for the rest of my life, if this means that I have two sons, yeah, one is 7 years old, one is 10 years old. If this means that I have 5 more years with my sons, or 10 more years or 20 more years or whatever, or then yes, yeah, if this means that I'm healthy longer, can run around, can help them, whatever, build a house or whatever, then yes, I will do that, because um, the pleasure of eating a cake is not that important for me. Yeah, I want people to be taken serious, because no one, yeah, dandruff, yeah, okay, you have dandruff, and okay, it itches in your ear, yeah, and okay, you sometimes you have a vertigo, or sometimes you have belly cramps, you maybe have eaten something wrong or whatever, yeah, but it might be something serious. And also with mood swings, depression, anger, anxiety, nightmares, whatever. Yeah, it's like uh, no one ever thinks about diet, which is, I have animals, I have two dogs, and if a dog is sick, they ask you what you feed the dog. And with humans, they don't really do that. It starts, but actually, what we forget in our bubbles is that we are still niche. We're still niche. It goes more and more in mainstream, of course, but it's still niche to think. I think so. I think so. Maybe it's not. Maybe I hope I'm mistaken, but to link mental, and this is what is important for me now, because I already know that the carnivore and the keto diet work for my bodily issues. Yeah, but the mental stuff is what makes me. I'm in anticipation. I'm happy to see what it makes to my mental state. This is what I'm working on now, because people say about this brain fog and uh, what it does against depression. I think I'm not clinically depressed. I know I'm not clinically depressed, but everyone knows life is hard. We have a lot to deal with. We have work, we have kids, we have wives, husbands, we have stupid neighbors, whatever. Yeah, and the more pressure I can take off my mental load and deal with my life more easy, the better. So this is why I do this. Yeah, and I'm quite happy to explore this road until the last breath, if it has to
Yeah.
be like that.
Nice. Um, so, Lino, do you have any way of reaching out to you? Do you have any social media?
Course, if someone really wants to reach me, they can have my email address and reach me.
So, Lino, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story. I really appreciate your time.
No, I really appreciate you to do this, because it's just an anecdotal experience, but a lot of anecdotes will be a picture, yeah, and this stuff shouldn't work. If you ask the science, and if you ask the professionals and the mainstream, this should not work. Yeah, and there are a lot of things that should not work, that are, but they actually work. So what can you do? They work. For me, it works. I know I'm a skeptic. I'm all for science, but it works. I do it, and my ailments, is this the word? Yeah, the things that bother me go away, and it's manageable. I don't like, you can live without carbs. You don't drop dead. Yeah, a lot of people have proven it, and I feel better. My skin. I'm here in Bulgaria for 2 years. We have one 1 or 2 months with over 40 degrees Celsius. I don't wear any sunscreen. I never wore any sunscreen. I have no sunburn. Uh, this is also something we have been told. We have to use sunscreen all the time. There's so many things we are told uh, that are, in my opinion, I'm not a professional, I'm not a lawyer or a doctor, but in my opinion, are lies, because I see on my body that I live different. I start to go outside shirtless in January. Whenever there is a sunny day, I go outside and have the sun on my skin, and I have no sunburns. Never. I should have sunburns when it comes to the professionals, but I don't. And the same with this diet. It shouldn't work, but it works, and I'm doing better than for a long time. And now, back to the point I want to make, now I even have hope with some of my mental problems that I don't want to go into too deep, but mood swings, depression, anger, nightmares, anxiety, waking up like drowning. Yeah, this is and this is also gone at the moment. Yeah, and I think if I go deeper and more disciplined into carnivore and to rearranging my gut biome, who knows? Who knows where I can go? And I'm quite eager to find out. And I want to make people brave enough to try it, because you
Mm.
can always go back and live miserably and die and whatever you intended to do. Yeah, just try it and try it for a month or whatever. And if you fail once, start again. You're not a failure because you made a mistake once. You're not. You did not. We're not the vegans. Sorry. Yeah, we're not like, oh, you failed the movement. This is not a movement. It's single persons that want to live healthy, and if you eat a cake once in a while and then you feel shitty and guilty, then forgive yourself and move on. Yeah, and try it again.